desperate. Okay. Welcome back to Breaking the Silence HD Unfiltered. We're your hosts, Ellen
and Amanda. And this is a podcast dedicated to raising awareness, spreading real stories, and just trying to share everything there is to know about Huntington's disease and some of the struggles that come with that, and also like different things that come out about Huntington's disease and trials and stuff like that. We will do a podcast about it and get the word out. So yeah, we just hope to reach people in the Huntington's disease community through this.
Last week we talked about some of our mom struggles and deciding to sell our childhood home and eventually putting our mom in a nursing home and what brought us to that point.
Right. So this week we're going to be talking more about when we decided to bring our mom home from the nursing home and kind of what made us do that, as well as some of the struggles that came with having our mom at home with us, and then ultimately deciding to put mom in the hospice at the end, and kind of some of the struggles that came with that. So it might be a little longer today, but
there's a lot to cover.
Stick with us.
Yes.
So
Ellen? In 2020, COVID hit. Everybody was kind of impacted by COVID. At the nursing home, things were obviously changing, like policies due to COVID. So it got to the point where we could do window visits.
But we weren't allowed in the nursing home.
Yeah. So we would do visits outside, like we would go to the window.
Of mom's room.
Yeah, of her room. I remember like she was in the dining room one time, but usually outside her room, they would open the window so we could kind of chat. And yeah, so
like that was the only visit at first. Yeah. And then they went to, like, you could schedule a visit and you could sit outside with her behind plastic. So there was like glass between you guys. And she had a mask on, we had a mask on. And you could book that through the nursing home. And then it kind of was like, we could visit her without the plastic, but everybody had to be wearing masks. So that was kind of like, we were kind of like, okay, we're getting through this. And then the nursing home went on complete lockdown again.
Yes.
Because of COVID spreading in the home. And at that point, mom was like confined to her room.
Yes.
So the only way we could see her is if we went and saw her at her bedroom.
The window. Yeah.
Thankfully, she lived on the ground floor. Like there was no upstairs or anything.
Yeah.
So we were able to do that. But it was definitely hard.
Yeah, it wasn't the same, right? Like you can't give her a hug or stuff like that. Like it's just looking at her through a window.
And I don't think she really understood it. So
yeah,
like,
why, right?
Because like there was times where she would call me and be like, "Are you coming to visit?" No, like, and she doesn't really understand why.
Yeah.
And like even when she was confined to her room, like it's again hard for her to understand why.
Yeah. And I remember like during the lockdown, her birthday came. So we weren't able to have like a regular celebration with her. We had lots of people make cards though. That was fun, but
yeah, we put a happy birthday sign out her room with some balloons.
Yeah, people stopped by,
in the garden.
Yeah, it was not your traditional birthday, so
yeah,
it was very hard.
Yeah. So then the nursing home went back on lockdown, and obviously we weren't able to visit our mom. So this brought us to October of 2020, and we get a call from the nursing home talking about our mom, saying like she's not really getting the proper diet that she needs, like she's not getting the proper nutrition, that they're worried about her food intake because she's only on like liquid diets. And they brought us the idea of possibly like doing a feeding tube, which they weren't aware of, but our mom strictly said like no feeding tubes, no tubes of any kind. That was just kind of some of her wishes. So us as a family, we sat down and tried to come up with like what was the best plan of action
Mm-hmm.
having this information, and like what was just ultimately kind of the best for mom and the best for us at that point. So ultimately we decided to bring mom out of the nursing home because at this point we weren't really sure how much longer we had with our mom, and
Yeah.
if we weren't going to be able to see her at the nursing home, then we wanted her home with us where she could at least spend time with her family. Like, obviously, not knowing if it was going to be weeks, months,
Mm-hmm.
we weren't sure. So, we were just going to try and give her the best we could possibly give her at that point.
Yes. Yeah, especially because we couldn't visit her in the home,
Mm-hmm.
and we didn't know when COVID was going to end. Like it went on for long after, too. So
Yeah,
there was no waiting it out to see what was going to happen, right?
for sure.
Um,
So, make this clear. Mom ended up moving in with myself and my wife and our two kids, boys, teenagers. So that's where she ended up, was with us.
yes. Yeah. So, yeah, like Amanda said, we decided to take her out of the home. She moved in with Amanda, and they set up everything she needed, like lift, hospital bed kind of
Home
stuff.
care,
Yeah, everything was in
relief for
place.
us since like
Yes.
I took a leave of absence from work to be able to be with mom day in and day out. And then my siblings would kind of come over and
Help
fill
me.
in and like give us a break here and
Yeah.
there when they could.
Yeah. It's hard to adjust your whole life
Yeah,
to that. Like, and
for sure.
it's hard to be a caretaker too. So,
So we spent our last Christmas with our mom, Christmas 2020 at our house. Everyone got together. Like, I know COVID rules were kind of like, I think we weren't actually allowed to all get together, but we did it anyway.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
um,
Well, really, what are you going to do? Like, you know that things are coming to an end. You can't.
yeah.
Sorry, COVID.
There was a lot of times where it was like, fuck COVID. Sorry, but that's how I felt.
Yeah. No, seriously.
So, yeah. That's, yeah. Hey, F bombs are okay.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay, so after Christmas, mom kind of started to get a little bit worse. She wasn't eating, like when she first moved home, she was still like eating jellos and puddings and like yogurt, ice cream, like anything that was liquid,
Yeah.
pretty much. But yeah, she wasn't like eating purees because the thickness of that was, it was just mostly liquids.
Mm-hmm.
But mom's intake declined quite a bit, where she wasn't really eating much of anything. So at that point, we sat down again as a family and kind of looked at what our options were at this point. Since like we had already spent like 2 months almost that mom was at our house at this point. And we just weren't sure like if mom was going to stay there until she passed or if there was something else we could do for mom. So as a family, we ultimately decided that it was in our best interest as well as our mom's to put our mom into hospice.
Mm-hmm.
Just because like I didn't really want our mom passing away at my house, so like that was something that I knew I couldn't handle. So at this point in time, we had to kind of figure out what it was going to look like moving forward.
Yeah.
And again, with COVID, that came with a lot of challenges.
Yes. So, when it finally came to the day that mom went into hospice, we all, like our family, close friends, all came to Amanda's house to say our final goodbyes.
Yes,
I'm
because
emotional.
in um, with the hospice, she was only allowed 4 visitors the entire time she was there. Those 4 visitors could not change.
Yes.
So anybody that wanted to see our mom before she went to the hospice had to come and say their goodbyes before she left my house. So that's when Ellen's talking about when our family came down, like her parents, her siblings, some of our cousins, some of her friends. They all came to my house and like kind of just had their last moments with mom before she went to hospice. As well as like all mom's grandchildren. They weren't going to be able to see her at the hospice. And like we ultimately decided that it was going to be 4 out of mom's 6 kids that were going to be going to the hospice. So even 2 of her children would have their final moments with mom before she left for hospice. You want me to keep talking for now?
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Okay, so like Amanda said, there was 6 of us. So only 4 of us could go. And as you can imagine, that was a tough decision.
Mm-hmm. So at first we thought that maybe like the 4 youngest siblings would go. So we brought that to like Evan and Ellen, and we were like, is that something that you guys would want to be a part of? Our younger brother Evan automatically said no, like that's not his place, which is understandable. It's like
it's hard.
It's a hard situation to be in. And Ellen, you want me to talk for you?
No, it's okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Now. Yeah. So I had just had my son, and I knew that he was an infant. I needed to be home with him, and he would have counted as a visitor. So obviously, he couldn't come with me. So I decided to offer up my spot, knowing that I wouldn't be able to be with her as much as my other siblings could.
Mm-hmm. So yes, so it was us 4 older siblings. So myself, my twin sister Amy, and our 2 older brothers were the 4 that would be visiting mom while she was at hospice. Other people were allowed to see her through the window, but it was cold out at this point because this was February, so it was a little chilly having a garden visit through the window, as well as like they could FaceTime with her, obviously, that kind of thing. And even like the 4 of us that were designated visitors, we could only have 2 of us there at the same time. So if 2 of us were there, the other 2 could not come. One of us would have to leave, or both of us would have to leave. Only 2 people were allowed in her room with her at the same time. So, yes. Let me just scroll down my notes here. Just give me a second. So like we kind of took shifts at the nursing or at the hospice, trying to like cover as much possible time as we could. Like so every morning when I got up, I would go to the hospice and spend the morning into the early afternoon with my mom. Sometimes my oldest brother would join us or join me there. Sometimes he wouldn't. Whenever he could make it, he would be there. And then my sister Amy would come in and kind of cover late afternoon into dinner time. And then our brother Matt, he would go in and kind of cover the evening for a couple hours. So we tried to like cover as much time as possible with the 4 of us, and like it was really, really hard. I know like for people that weren't allowed to be there, it was hard as well. But like being the person that has to sit there day in and day out and watch your mom like in her final moments by yourself in a time where you think you would be surrounded by family and you'd have all the support in the world. It felt very lonely because of COVID and the crap that came with COVID. So, like, yeah, it was definitely hard for sure to be there with her day in and day out. So, like, when mom first went to the hospice, she was kind of eating a little bit. They got her drinking milkshakes, is what she was having when she first went in, and that's kind of just what they offered her throughout the entire day, was these milkshakes that they would try and pack as
Mm-hmm.
many calories as possible into. And like for the first few weeks, she enjoyed the milkshakes, and that was kind of her only intake that she had. And then obviously, as the weeks passed on, um, mom wasn't eating and drinking as much, to the point where eventually she stopped eating completely. And again, like mom also, when she first went to hospice, she was kind of alert. She wasn't talking very much, but like
Mm-hmm.
she would say little things like "I love you" or "Hello, Amanda," or like yes and no, and she would kind of acknowledge some things. Then obviously that was kind of declined, and she wasn't talking anymore. But like she would open her eyes and kind of like acknowledge you if you walked in the room, or like if you grabbed her hand, she would like acknowledge that you were there. So yeah, mom spent about 2 months in the hospice. She was there from February to April 9th is when she passed away, and the four of us siblings were there by her side. Um, so that day is what no the day before mom passed away is when she stopped taking any kind of intake, and
Mm-hmm.
so the rules at hospice changed at that point. And instead of having the two of us at a time, we were allowed all four of us in the room with mom. So I called in the four of us to be by mom. Evan and Ellen had some moments in the garden with
Yeah.
mom before she passed away the same day. And then, yeah, the four of us were there with mom when she passed away. So,
Which I think is so dumb, by the way. Like, why, why were COVID protocols not overrode in these situations? It
mm-hmm.
makes no sense to me.
Yeah,
So
for
dumb.
sure. It is.
Little rant.
Yes, COVID really made an already horrible disease even more horrible.
Yeah.
Because, yeah.
I truly think, like, when it comes to somebody passing away, like, this is the last time that you get to see them or be with them. So, why is COVID more important? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Because, like, at this point, it doesn't matter if your loved one gets COVID or
Yeah.
whatever. Like,
I think, and like, I wouldn't have cared if I got COVID. Like,
yeah. Like,
so
if like, it should have been a risk that you could take if you
yeah,
wanted to.
definitely. I think a
And,
lot of
like,
people will agree with
screw the
that.
rest of the world.
Isolate for 2 weeks after something.
Yeah.
Who knows, right?
Like, if you're willing to take these steps, then
Mm-hmm.
this is what you have to do. Whatever.
Yeah.
Stupid, yeah.
I could rant all day.
Yes. And I could rant all day too about COVID. So, anyways, that's kind of what happened. And yeah,
Yeah.
that's some heavy stuff
Yes, it is.
that happened. And like, there was like, it was almost like relief when mom passed away, because like it it was no longer like you didn't have to sit there any longer day in and day
Mm-hmm.
out by yourself or just with one sibling, like.
Yeah.
And at that point, it, like mom wasn't mom, like she was just
Yes.
holding on,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
I was thinking that when you said, like, just sitting there with her, like, it's because obviously it's still her body, but it's just like her shell. Like,
Yeah.
she's not there anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm.
So I have a question for you.
Yes.
Um, do you have any types of feelings about being one of the four? Like, do you feel
Mm.
anything about, like, guilt? Not saying you should feel
I do
guilty,
feel
but
guilty because like there's so many people that I wished could have been there.
Yeah.
Like, not even just mom's kids, but like, obviously, mom's siblings, mom's parents. Like, there's so many people that should have been there, but because of COVID, they couldn't be there. So that adds like a lot more guilt on me, even though, and like, I'm sure some of my siblings feel the same way. And like, I know we shouldn't feel that way, but it's like,
I think,
yeah,
I could understand that.
like, at the end of the day, there's nothing we could
No.
do about it.
No.
And like, we did the best we could with the shitty situation we were given. So, and like, I've never asked like my grandparents or like my aunts and uncles, like,
I think that they understand.
yeah.
Like, I think if they were to be asked, it would have been,
You kids should be there.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Anything else you want to add, Ellen, about this whole COVID or some of the things that happened during that time?
Not particularly, no.
Well, on this COVID topic, while we're on it, next week we will be sharing more kind of about this COVID crap, about like losing mom during COVID and kind of what it looked like after mom passed away, and we'll talk more about like the funeral and some of the restrictions that came with that. Again, because of COVID, we're just going to put this into kind of a two-part because we didn't want to make this episode really long. So next week we'll go dive deeper into kind of what happened after mom passed away and planning her funeral and the restrictions that came with that. And then also just moving on after mom passed away, and yeah, some of the feelings and grief and stuff that comes with that. So
yeah, so for those who don't know, our mom passed away on April 9th, so that day just passed. I think that's why I'm a little emotional about it.
Yeah, what's today?
The 11th. So we're filming this on the 11th. It's not coming out till next week.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So we just want to remind you that we're here for you if you're going through anything right now, struggling, trying to navigate stuff in your life that's going on, either with HD yourself or with a family member that's dealing with Huntington's disease. We're here for you if we can offer you any advice or listening ear, or you just want to reach out to us and kind of tell us what's going on in your life and how you're impacted by Huntington's disease. We would love to hear from you. Also, if there's any kind of support that you're looking for, we can try and find that for you, whether that's like through the Huntington Society of Canada or another organization, depending on where you're from. You can reach out to us, and again, we'll put you in contact with somebody that can help you.
And if you just want to vent about COVID and maybe how that impacted
you. We are your people.
I think that there's other people out there who were impacted by COVID, maybe not.
That made a shitty situation shittier?
Yeah. Maybe not in the exact same way, but like, I'm sure there's lots of people who experience the same with lockdowns of nursing homes and stuff like that. So if you want to vent about it, we're here for it.
We love venting about COVID.
But thank you for watching. We really appreciate all the support and love that we receive from you guys. So look forward to seeing you every week.
So yeah, we'll be back next week with more COVID stuff. Bye.